I'm doing a video on setting up my dual Wi-Fi network. This is what I'm gonna do in my home and I hope it works. I wanna first explain my setup and then tell you what I'm gonna do. So I just got the Wi-Fi 6 Orbi system and I'm looking to use it. It works really well, but I don't wanna get rid of my Wi-Fi 5. So I'm gonna see, because they are the same devices, that I wanna see if you can transition from one to the other with no issues whatsoever. What I mean by that is that if I go from one room to another and I'm switching from the Wi-Fi 5 to the Wi-Fi 6, the transition hopefully will be seamless. So to do that, I'm hoping I'm gonna explain my setup. Now, I'm an amateur. I did work in the IT field and I did deal with Cisco routers and switches and stuff like that. So I got some idea how all this works. But take this with a grain of salt. It's an amateur video and you do it at your own risk. So anyway, this little ball here is the internet. This is my little diagram. I have two ISP connections. I did a video on that because of the fact that my internet here, the upload is so slow, so I just doubled it by adding another internet service. So I'm getting 150 down and 20 up on both sides. And what I ended up doing was purchasing a dual WAN switch. So the internet comes into both modems. These are simulating the Atom cable modem, this side and that side. They both connect to my dual WAN switch, which I have configured to load balance. So when one side is busy, it just switches over to the other one, which is great. And that's exactly what I need. Then I have my Wi-Fi 5 Orbi tri-band system. And I just got the Wi-Fi 6 Orbi system, and I don't want to get rid of my Wi-Fi 5. I want to add to my Wi-Fi. So I'm hoping that it's smart enough to not have any channel issues. I'm assuming not. It should be real simple. They should see each other and switch to whatever side they need to do. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to make this. I had to just add it. This is going to be my DHCP server. As you can see, it's labeled DHCP. DHCP will be turned off for here and here. This will be giving all the private IP addresses. So it's a dual WAN router and it has 5 ports, and you can make 4 of them for WAN, or you can make, I'm sorry, I should rephrase. It has 5 ports. You can make 4 of them WAN connections if you have 4 WAN connections and 1 LAN. Or you can make 1 WAN or 2 WAN and the rest LAN ports. So I'm just using 3 of the ports in the dual WAN router. So it's going to be 2 coming in from Atom cable as WAN ports, load balancing. Then it's going to come out and it's going to be the DHCP server, and I should rephrase it. I'm using 4 ports. And then 2 of them will be LAN ports. And the LAN ports, one will connect to the Orbi Wi-Fi 5 and the Orbi Wi-Fi 6. And this will be the DHCP server giving out the IP addresses for all of them. This one I'm going to set up with a .1 address, and this one I will set up with a .254 address. This one will be a .25 address in the LAN. You can choose whatever you want, 192 or 10 private IP address, and that's how I'm setting it up. And I'm going to connect them from switch to switch. So I'm not going to use the internet port. I'm going to use the LAN port. The reason for that is that I want them to communicate among each other. So I want everything to act like a switch. If I connect this to the internet port, I'm going to have to open up a bunch of ports in the internet side. For that, I'm just going to connect it to the switch. That way everything will just go through. So if I'm connected through here and I need to get to the Wi-Fi 5, I should be able to connect, go through the dual WAN, since it's only connecting through a switch, no security, no nothing, coming right through, and then I can get in. So that's why I'm connecting it. So it's going to be switch port to switch port, not internet port. Switch port to switch port. That way it seamlessly communicates among each other. It'll just be another device on my private network. So that's what I'm looking to do. So I'm not using the internet port. That's up to you. So switch port to switch port, switch port to switch port. You'll connect to this. This will give you the IP address and you'll be able to use the internet. This is gonna, again, I'm gonna uplink from the Wi-Fi 5 and the Wi-Fi 6 to this 16 port switch. I'm probably just going to use, I just erased the connection. I'm not going to connect that. I'm going to connect the Wi-Fi 5 to the 16 port switch. I don't want to have loop issues, loop issues. So you don't want to have that if you make multiple connections. This is just a dumb switch, so you won't be able to implement, like in Cisco switches, you could do spanning tree protocol, which prevents loop from occurring in the network. So only one connection. So I'm going to use the Wi-Fi 6 to connect to my 16 port switch. That's going to also make connections to my computers, and the Wi-Fi 5 will also, I'll use the back of the switch for certain network devices that I want to have more, direct access to the actual dual WAN router so I can get closer. So I'll be prioritizing certain computers to the Wi-Fi 5 switch, Wi-Fi 5 Orbi switch network. The same thing with the Wi-Fi 6. It would just give me an additional, I think there's 3 ports back there, additional 4 ports, switch ports. Well, one's going to be used for the dual WAN, so an additional 3 ports I could dedicate to certain network items that I want to have closer connection to the internet. It'll come down and it'll connect to my computers here, and then my tablets will connect to either one. I'm going to name them the same Wi-Fi name, and I'm going to see if I can just move around and see if it works, and I'll let you know if it does work. And I'm hoping it does work and that there are no issues, and I should be able to just go from, popping from one to the other. So let's try it out and see if it'll work. This is my setup for my home dual WAN, dual Wi-Fi network setup. This is the diagram that I drew up for myself, and I'll have this at the end on the slideshow so you get a better idea of my whole setup, my IP addresses and everything. I've been running the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 now for several weeks now, and everything's working excellent, perfect, great. Now, the idea behind having my Wi-Fi 5 Orbi mesh system and my Wi-Fi 6 Orbi mesh system run at the same time did not work. They'll work if you make them 2 separate networks, but I didn't want to do that. What I wanted to do was actually run them with the same SSID and same password, and I just wanted to make my Wi-Fi just huge, to cover every single corner inch of my backyard and my home. But a lot of the devices that connect through Wi-Fi were having many issues with doing it that way. So I couldn't continue to run it that way. It just was a big time problem. I wanted it to take advantage of the dual, I have 2 ISPs, so I wanted to take advantage of the dual WAN system that I have, but it didn't work out that way. So I went just with the Wi-Fi 6. But one thing I noticed, I wanted to try something. I know that wirelessly, the Orbi Wi-Fi 5 is not, I'm sorry, I should rephrase it. I know that the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is not backward compatible wirelessly backhaul to make the connections to the Wi-Fi 5 system. So I tried physically connecting them to see what happens, and they came up. So what I'm doing right now is actually using, let me see, an additional 4 Wi-Fi 5 satellites, just the satellites. And I'm making a backhaul physical Ethernet connection. So this is physically connected to this, and my other satellites are connected to either this or this. So I was able to extend these satellite systems, the Wi-Fi 5 satellites, by making a physical connection to this. I tried it, it works. It comes up under the app. It shows up as an additional satellite. It shows connected. It shows connected by being connected via a wire instead of wirelessly. So, and I've been running the network now, like I said, for several weeks, and I see no issues whatsoever. It's pretty cool. So I was able to continue to extend my network and cover every single inch of the home. The only thing is I could not use the Wi-Fi 5 router. I had to take that out. But I was able to, like I said, just to repeat, extend my network via Ethernet from my Wi-Fi 6 router to my Wi-Fi 5 satellites. So that's pretty cool. So I have a total of, I have the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 and 2 satellites. So that's, I have that covering. It's way more than enough. This is way overkill. This is more of me trying it out and seeing if it works, and letting you know if it worked or not. And I have an additional 4 Orbi Wi-Fi 5 satellites connecting to the Wi-Fi 6 via Ethernet, physically connected, wired. And like I said, it's showing up under the application. It's showing up under the web interface as a connected device. It's showing devices connected to the Wi-Fi 5 satellite. So people are connecting to this, and data is getting through, and no issues whatsoever. So that was interesting to find out. So again, the Wi-Fi 5 and the Wi-Fi 6, the Wi-Fi 6 is not backward compatible with Wi-Fi 5 using the wireless backhaul. But it seems like, and this is just my opinion, I just tried it, it works. It seems like physical connections, so if you make a physical connection from the Wi-Fi 6 router or the Wi-Fi 6 satellite devices to a Wi-Fi 5 satellite via Ethernet, you can add additional satellites using the Wi-Fi 5 satellites. That's really, really cool. So this is the main router, and this is a Wi-Fi 5 satellite that I have, and this is connected to this, and there are people connected right now to this device. When I look it up on the application or the web interface, it shows devices connected. This Wi-Fi 5 system is connected to the Wi-Fi 6 router. This Wi-Fi 5 Orbi satellite is connected via a switch that connects to the Wi-Fi 6 router. This is my Wi-Fi 6 satellite in the office. This Wi-Fi 5 Orbi satellite system is connected to the Wi-Fi 6 satellite I just showed you. This Wi-Fi 5 satellite is connected to the Wi-Fi 6 router. Mounted all the way up there is my last Wi-Fi 6 satellite, which I connected to my garage. So I have better access in the garage and the outdoors. Behind that wood wall is my backyard. So this is what gives us access in the backyard. So that's my setup. It ended up working fine for me in that I was able to add the additional satellites from the Wi-Fi 5 system as long as I made a physical connection. I couldn't get it wirelessly to work at all. I tried everything and it would just not show up. But as physically wired, I had no issues whatsoever. And like I said, it's showing on the app connected and it's showing devices connected to it. And it's working just fine. So that's my setup, and I hope the video is informative. I hope it helps, and thank you. Bye.
Some info on item. Used NETGEAR Orbi Whole Home Tri-Band Mesh Wi-Fi 6 System, RBK853, router with 2 satellite extenders. Coverage up to 7,500 SQFT and 60 plus devices, 11x Mesh X 6000 Wi-Fi, up to 6 GB per second, 01112021. Cost, $696.75, used. Purchased on Amazon's website. Connections: Wi-Fi built-in, Ethernet, Wi-Fi ready, frequency band class tri-band, data transfer rate 6000 megabits per second, brand NETGEAR, wireless type 802.11x, number of ports 13, security protocol WPA2 PSK, voltage 100,000 240 volts. About this item: Ultra FAST gigabit speed, AX 6000. 6 powers up to 6 GB per second of streaming HD video, gaming or internet surfing and downloads. Works with existing Wi-Fi devices and new Wi-Fi 6 devices like iPhone 11, Galaxy Note 10 and Galaxy S10. Works with all internet providers. Replace your existing Wi-Fi router, separate modem or gateway required. Compatible with any internet service provider up to 25 GB per second, including cable, satellite, fiber, DSL and more. Tri-band backhaul. A dedicated band between your Orbi router and satellite frees up the other 2 bands for maximum speed to your devices. Easy to set up and manage. Connects to your existing cable modem and sets up and customizes in minutes with the Orbi app. Easily manage your Wi-Fi settings at the device and network level. Test your internet speed, view speed history and monitor data usage. Wired Ethernet ports. Plug-in computers, game consoles, streaming players and other nearby wired devices with 5x 1 gigabit Ethernet ports in the router and 4 gigabit Ethernet ports in the satellite. Safe, secure and loaded with advanced technology. Designed with MU-MIMO Smart Connect for One Wi-Fi name and beamforming technologies. Supports WPA2 wireless security protocols, includes guest Wi-Fi access, DOS, firewall, VPN and more. Tri-band Wi-Fi maximizes speed. An additional 3rd band dedicated to your Orbi router and satellite frees up the other 2 bands for maximum speed to your devices. Other Wi-Fi systems are dual band, which significantly reduces the performance compared to Orbi. High performance Wi-Fi 6 speeds up to 6 GB per second and 12 simultaneous Wi-Fi 6 streams let you stream 4K 8K UHD movies to multiple devices and enjoy lag-free online gaming while still using all of your connected devices at the same time. Connect to 60 plus devices. Latest generation Wi-Fi 6 has 4x more capacity than previous Wi-Fi, delivering faster speeds to your increasing number of devices. Seamless roaming. 5. Setup. Seamless roaming everywhere. Powerful Orbi mesh technology keeps you seamlessly connected as you move inside and outside your home, using one simple network name. Works with any internet service provider plan up to 2.5 GB per second, 1 GB per second. Ethernet 1 port supports gigabit internet speeds or aggregate 2 ports to get 2.5 GB per second. Compatible fiber or cable modem supporting multi-gig internet speeds sold separately. Easy to set up and manage. Orbi directly connects to your existing cable modem with an Ethernet cable. Using the Orbi app, you can easily set up your Wi-Fi in minutes, customize your settings, monitor your Wi-Fi speed and control your Wi-Fi anytime, anywhere. Built-in NETGEAR Armor multi-layer security software protects all your connected devices with antivirus, anti-malware, and data theft protection. Product description: style, ultra-performance 3-pack Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is a tri-band Wi-Fi system built with the latest and fastest Wi-Fi 6 technology to provide the ultimate smart home experience with Wi-Fi coverage and connection capacity beyond belief. Keep all Wi-Fi connections strong, in every room, all the time with enough bandwidth for all your devices, multiple 4K 8K UHD streaming, music for your Wi-Fi connected speakers, fast online gameplay, smart lights, Wi-Fi security devices and more. Dedicated quad-stream Wi-Fi 6 backhaul allows for streaming 4K or 8K videos without delay. Ideal for gigabit and multi-gigabit internet speed service, supporting up to 2.5 GB per second download speeds. Place the satellites anywhere in your home to get gigabit speeds where you want them. Product information: style, ultra performance 3-pack. Technical details: collapse all summary wireless type 802.11ax. Other technical details: brand NETGEAR, item model number RBK853-100 NAS, item weight 12.32 pounds, package dimensions 13x 11.5x 8.3 inches, voltage 100,000 240 volts, manufacturer NETGEAR ASIN B082LZKYFL.